Hello again, everyone. I'm Vince Reed with the Galen Snyder Show, brought to you in part every week by ARIA Health, your friends and neighbors here in Bucks County, by the Pennsbury Regional Basketball League, the PRBLonline.com to get in touch with them, and by the Continental Tavern, where you can watch the live stream of every Pennsbury game while it's going on. And of course, we look forward to a lot of games, hopefully, down the line. Matter of fact, this one is the regular season finale for the arch rivals as Neshaminy comes to town to take on the Falcons here in Fairless Hills for this ball game, and it should be a dandy. When you look at their records, you look at the way the teams are playing, and also when you look at what they did against each other's opposition that's coming into this ball game, it's fairly even. When you got to realize that either one can possibly pick off the win here when it's needed. Of course, both teams would like to get it because of the fact that you like to get into those playoffs, and the Neshaminy needs it to get into the playoffs for sure, because if they lose it, they won't be in it. Pennsbury could still be in it and get into the playoffs even with a loss, but you're not concerned with the loss situation. As far as that goes, Coach, when you come down to this game, Pennsbury and Neshaminy, it's the usual. It's the big one at the end of the year, been going on for years, and really there's no doubt about the fact that these kids are going to be sky high.
Sure, both teams will be excited to play. It's a huge rivalry. It's one of the good things with these types of rivalry games, or what's good about high school football, and Neshaminy Pennsbury goes back a long way, and it should be a good one. It always is.
You look at this ball game, and we'll take a look at your ball club first here and what they've been doing here. Of course, racking up another win last week, and now getting into this ball game with an opportunity here to see if you can finish out the season against them. One thing you've been able to do, and it's odd, a couple people I was talking to, is the fact that they were surprised that either team could possibly, in the past couple of years, not give up a touchdown to the other. And you've been able to do that for a couple of years, having given up a TD to Neshaminy in this game.
That's true. That's true. They last couple of years, actually, they were inside the 5 twice, and so they were real close to getting them. I think, they dropped a couple of years ago. They had us beat in the flat, and they dropped the ball in the flat. They would have scored that time. They ended up kicking a field goal, and then last year, first drive, they drove right down the field on us, had a great drive, and we stiffened up around the 2-yard line. They kicked one. If they end up in this situation again, I'm sure they'll go for it this time if they're inside the 5.
But, I'm pretty sure they will.
But so we've been fortunate that way.
Looking at your ball club and how they've materialized throughout the course of the year, when you look from start to finish, I think one of the things that I think shows up with your team this year is the fact that you don't throw the ball a lot, but boy, I'll tell you what, you've really been making them count. Whenever you've been throwing, quite often, they've been coming up as touchdowns. I mean, these guys have done a great job, even though they don't get a lot of passes maybe thrown. But I'll tell you what, they're showing that when they're needed, they're coming through.
Well, there's 2 parts to that. There are always opportunities to throw the ball in a run-oriented offense like ours, because it tends to make the defense, everybody come up and everybody be very conscious of trying to stop the run. So the first part is having the opportunity, given those circumstances, to make throws. So the opportunity is always there. And now the other part comes down to, who are the players connecting on them.
Right.
And so that's the biggest part, is having the players in place that can execute them when the opportunity is there. And that's what we've seen this year, between Mike Alley, starting with Mike Alley, being accurate when those opportunities are there and putting the ball where it's supposed to be, and the receivers catching the ball. Yeah. So, and it hasn't been one guy. It's been, across the board, different guys making plays on the ball each week. So, we're pleased. We're real pleased about that. It seems like we've made the most out of the opportunities.
I think one of the things, too, I know last year, Allie led the team very nicely. It was his first year here with you and getting the schemes and everything together. But I think really during the course of this season, he's really matured and he's really become a much better player. Not only that, with throwing the ball, I mean, he's shown us how much he can do in the run game.
Oh, yeah, Mike's been a huge factor for us. I mean, I think you have his stats there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's closing in on 800 yards for the season rushing. He's closing in on 1,200 yards between
rushing and passing.
Yeah. And he has, I believe, 18 touchdowns, 9 rushing,
right.
nine passing, and only 1 interception. So
that's the thing that really is to me so good, is the fact that He doesn't get a chance to throw maybe that often, but his numbers, when you come down to it, are just astronomical. That you would have 9 TDs out of that, and also the fact that you only threw 1 pick all year.
Right.
That's pretty good accuracy right there.
Yeah, for any quarterback who's accountable for 18 touchdowns, it doesn't matter if you ran them or threw them. I mean, like, imagine if that was a college or NFL stat.
Right.
Quarterback's responsible for 18 touchdowns and 1 interception. I mean, he'd probably be highly ranked, right?
Yeah. You got
so
that
in
right.
other words, you pointed out the fact that last year, we had Charles Norway. I mean, he's the best.
Yeah.
He's the best in the area, and
right.
and the best we've had here for a while, and we've had some good ones.
Yeah.
And so that's the way we went, and this year, and Mike was a great leader last year, and and also he made the most out of his opportunities then. But this year he's really
come into his own.
I believe so.
And I want to look to it. You take a look at the stats. Ruprecht with closing in on just about 900 yards, and you've got Hose, who did play a lot in the first maybe 4 games of the year. He's got himself almost 800 yards along the way, but the guys as well. Daly has almost 4, so you can see how, like we said, there's no Snorway here, but there's a nice spread around of the ball.
Right, and that's the idea with the wing T. I mean, we've strayed a little bit here and there and run some eye and things like that, but with the wing T offense, the idea is to have 4 complementary backs,
right.
and and a lot, and some of these guys, I don't want to take away the efforts of some other guys. I mean, Hose is playing both ways.
Yeah,
so,
I know.
And Daly is defense, and then spells Hose on the offensive side.
Yeah.
And then if you look at Luke and Gregory Lichtenstein, I mean, they're doing a great job blocking, and then going out and doing a great job on D. So. Along with everybody else, I think it's been a whole team effort in getting us to the point that we're at right now.
And certainly right now they're at the point where they're looking to see if they can beat their arch rival one more time this year as they have in the past couple of years. We're going to be back with more with the Galen Snyder Show. Do want to tell you that the Continental Tavern in the heart of Yardley is celebrating 150 years as a licensed tavern in the state of Pennsylvania, offering the finest in tavern fare. Matter of fact, you can go there. You can get the burgers. Everybody's got those, but they're a really good burger over there. Not only that, fresh seafood. There's pasta. There's also chops. And you also have great salads to pick from over there, too. Really nice entree salads if you want to try some of those. And, of course, you have an opportunity while you're there to enjoy not only the people that are around you, good group of people who go there, and also the fact that you can watch every Pennsbury game live stream. You watch it live while it's happening on all their TVs at the Continental Tavern. And, of course, also we are brought to you by none other than the basketball regional, that's Pennsbury Regional Basketball League. And they, of course, take everyone from kindergarten on up to 12th grade. And you look at their chances of helping to improve your kid if you really want to get them into basketball and get them to learn the fundamentals and learn it right. Get in touch with them. They can do the job for you. And, of course, they'll be filling up as far as that goes with the amount of children they can take. So get to them as soon as possible. The easy way is prblonline.com. That's how you get a hold of them and find out if, you'd like to be interested in doing the same thing. Of course, they'll be running it by the Pennsbury athletes who are basketball players. We'll be helping to run it as well. And you'll get a chance to have your kids meet with those players. And also, they look up to them and have a chance to learn from them as well. And, of course, we're brought to you by Aria Health, your friends and neighbors here in Bucks County. And whenever you need some assistance, you need help in a hurry, the place to go is Aria Health. We'll be back with more of the Galen Snyder Show in just a moment.
The ARIA 3B Orthopedic Institute is redefining care in Center City and South Jersey. And our 50,000 square foot location on ARIA Health's Bucks campus in Langhorne features private rooms, free parking, and nearby hotels. With over a century of experience, the world-class 3Bs, Doctors Booth, Bartolozzi, Balderston, and their partners personally guide you from treatment through recovery. For all your orthopedic needs, call 1-888-ORTHO-3B or visit aria3bortho.org. At the ARIA 3B Orthopedic Institute, you come first.
If you are looking for a car, where do you go? Faulkner Auto Group at 4427 Street Road in Trevose is where to go for the best deals in Bucks County for all your new pre-owned cars, trucks, or SUVs. Go to Faulkner Auto Group. It's always Faulkner, to be sure. Go online to faulknerautogroup.com. Just remember, it's Faulkner, to be sure, for all your new cars or trucks. 4427 Street Road in Trevose. Faulkner, to be sure.
The Gator, Jerry Blavitt here, to tell you to tune us in every weekday afternoon from 3 to 5 p.m. right here at WBCB 1490 AM and throughout the world at WBCB1490.com. And it's brought to you by the Italian People Bakery and the deli at 63 Butler Street in the Chambersburg section of Trenton, and also in Levittown at Woodburn and Oxford Valley Roads, and where all baking is done on the premises at both stores. Yo, Trenton and Levittown, this is the Geeter, the big boss with the big hot sauce, Jerry Blavitt, inviting you to join me every weekday afternoon from 3 to 5 as we bring back the memories at the top of the dial, 1490 AM, WBCB, and throughout the world at WBCB1490.com. And it's brought to you by Mako at 1460 Prospect Street, right off Alden Avenue in Ewing Township, owned and operated by my main man, Matt Palmer.
Hi, this is Merrill Reese, and since 1986, McCaffrey's Supermarket has been a real supermarket experience and a very proud member of our community. Through good times and bad times, Jim McCaffrey and his family have been there to assist our neighbors when they needed help, whether it's helping flood victims, raising funds for the American Cancer Society, or supporting the local Little League teams. You can count on McCaffrey's to be there. McCaffrey Supermarkets, 635 Heacock Road in Yardley in the village of Newtown, at 2890 South Eagle Road, and also in Princeton and West Windsor.
Peruzzi Nissan is the home of the 3495 Pennsylvania State Inspection and Admission, and is your full-service automotive facility for all makes and models, regardless of where you purchased your car. Air conditioner tune-up for just $79.95 at Peruzzi Nissan. Buy 3 tires at Peruzzi Nissan and get the 4th one free, plus free alignment checks. Have your car looking showroom new with a value detail package for just $64.95 and a full detail package for only $179.95. Peruzzi Nissan Service, Business Route 1, Fairless Hills, where our business is you.
Achieving what you want demands the right game plan. When you team up with PNC, you get the tools and know-how you need to get where you want to go. Whether it's buying a new home, sending your kids off to college, or retiring the way you want, PNC is here ready to help you achieve your financial goals. To discover all the ways PNC can help, stop by any branch or visit PNC.com. PNC for the achiever in you. PNC Bank, member FDIC. I'm Merrill Reese to tell you about our good friends at the Revere Ristorante Italiano in nearby Ewing Township at 802 River Road. I can tell you that from South Philadelphia to New York's Mulberry Street, there's no better Italian cuisine than that served at the Revere. Start your meal with one of their great appetizers or salads. Entrees include outstanding veal dishes, fresh seafood daily, excellent steaks and chops, homemade pasta dishes, daily specials, and much more. You can also enjoy their bar area, where on most weekends, entertainment is offered. The Revere also does off-premise catering and can accommodate private parties for any affair, including business functions. Call the Revere Ristorante Italiano for more information and reservations at 609-882-6365. 882-6365. The Revere Ristorante Italiano open Monday through Friday for lunch and 7 days for dinner at 802 River Road, right off the Wilbertha Road exit on Route 29 in nearby Ewing Township.
Oh, the corner kicks right to Chris. He's got a shot. Oh, no.
It happens fast, so we'll treat you fast. Introducing Rothman Orthopedic Urgent Care, where you're seen without an appointment by a Rothman orthopedic specialist. Fast, any day of the week.
Okay. Easy with his leg.
Rothman Orthopedic Urgent Care, now in Marlton, New Jersey, with more locations to come. It happens fast, we'll treat you fast. Rothman Orthopedic Urgent Care. See RothmanInstitute.com.
Don't forget, if you miss any of your local high school sports action, you can read all about it in tomorrow's edition of the Trentonian. For your complete local and national news 7 days a week, it's the Trentonian, or online at thetrentonian.com. The only newspaper serving Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer County 7 days a week, it's the Trentonian.
Vince Reed and Galen Snyder back again. We're going to be talking a little bit, too, about the ball club here that Pennsbury is going to be facing in the Chamonix, and they've got a good ball club. They spread the ball around. There's no doubt about that. Mason Jones is a good young quarterback, and he's got some nice receivers. Denzel Hughes and Zach Treadway are a couple of his really good receivers, and Jones has got some nice stats too. He's got 67 for 141 passing for 953 yards and 7 touchdowns. He has been intercepted 4 times. He's rushed for 410 yards and 3 TDs as well, but he's capable of throwing the football to these guys who certainly are very good receivers. And that would be, as I mentioned, Denzel Hughes, who has 14.8 per catch. He's had 267 yards and 4 touchdowns. Zach Treadway is another guy who's done a real good job there in that department. So when you come down to it, Coach, when you think about the game, they've got Will Dogba, who's over 1,000 yards rushing, so they got that part of the game down too. But with their offense, what do you look at as maybe the thing that's really concerning you the most? Would it be the ground game? Would it be that passing game?
Well, I mean, I think they're a fairly balanced, team as far as that goes. So I think, you obviously got to deal with both of those games, the ground game and the pass game. They've done a nice job with both of them. So they got some good receivers, kids that you mentioned there, good athletes. Quarterback's done a real nice job as well, and the running back. I know they were looking for a guy coming into the season,
Right.
So I think Dog was done real well. They have a good size on the offensive line, and of course their head coach is their line coach, so
right.
He's been doing a good job with the offensive line there for years. So they obviously present some big challenges for us on our defensive side.
I know when I looked up as far as the stats go, maybe a little surprising to me because I was mentioning during the course of the season and before the season started, I thought they may have the 3 best as a trio of receivers. They've thrown it 67 for 141, but really when I looked at it, I honestly thought they would be more of a throwing ball club this year than even that number indicates.
Yeah, I mean,
but they found the balance in Dogba.
Yeah. I mean, I never thought they would. I thought they might try to be, but I always thought that they would maybe gravitate back to what they have had a lot of success in the past with, and that's to be a little bit more ground oriented and to mix in the pass. I mean, if you look at Neshaminy, that's what's brought them the success over the years, and. I thought they might have had those intentions early and then sort of gravitated back. And I think that's kind of where they are. Yeah,
I think one of the things, of course, I was looking at is the fact that I wasn't sure, as maybe they weren't sure exactly how the guy that they wanted to carry the load on the running game would be there. And that's what made me think they'll go to the passing game more because Dogba, who's only a junior, has come in and really spelled them so well, has done such a good job for him that I think that kind of leveled it out a little bit there because at the beginning of the season, I was thinking, well, they're maybe going to be a little more of a throwing team than a running team until they find somebody.
Well, yeah, and sometimes early in the season, it's easier to be a throwing team. I know that sounds strange to people because you think you would get better with a throwing game as the season goes, but you spend so much time in the summer, or at least some teams do, with doing these passing scrimmages, 7-on-7, all that. And then, when you hit September, the weather's nice, so you're not running into that issue. As you get later in the year, everybody's kind of caught up with your passing game a little bit. And the other part about that is, the weather's not as good, so it's not as,
right.
So there's a number of factors that sometimes, you face a team that's a spread team that throws a lot. You face them early in the year, you have more issues with them than you might have with them later in the year.
Right. Yeah, that's so true. One of the things, too, we want to talk about, we talk about the offense a lot no matter what because that's where the points are garnered and everything. But when it comes down to the defense, your defense has been playing very well indeed. And when you look at it, I know your son is leading them in tackles. He's got a total of 57 so far and 8.5 for a loss. And you got Wells, who's also got 8.5 for a loss. And guys have been doing good. Lichtenstein, Wells, Ibrick and Maurer and Hose and those kind of guys, both Hoses, as well as Daly getting in there and Hodges and also Butler. We can name them. There's so many of them who've done a real good job. But the biggest thing is that when you look at this defense, these are guys that really have played solidly for you from the beginning until now.
Yeah, I don't think we've had really maybe a couple plays here and there against North Penn, a couple pass plays. But for the most part, I think we've been solid defensively as we expected to be all season. And so obviously that's something we want to keep going here. We know we have a big challenge ahead of us with Neshaminy. And so from a defensive standpoint, we need another tremendous effort out of those guys.
When you look at their ground game, and if you watched them on film or had people scout them during the course of the year, when you look at that, do you think they run mainly between the tackles? Or did they try to get outside a lot, or is that just now?
No, I mean Neshaminy traditionally, and if you look at where they're kind of been effective, I mean they're going to run their power O, which is whether it's the quarterback running a power out of the gun,
right,
or it's a tailback running the power with dog. But they're going to run the power O, which is this a C gap play between tight end and tackle,
right.
So it's an off tackle type of thing. Or they're going to run their little tackle ISO where they pull a tackle. It's sort of like a counter play, which is up in B gap, sort of to the weak side. So those tend to be their most effective plays over the years. In certain years, they're really effective trapping. With the fullback. Yeah. A couple of years ago, they had the kid Lord, who was a good runner, and the fullback trap was a real nice play for him. But I would say they've always been between the tight ends. That's where they made their hay. And you'll get an occasional jet sweep or toss sweep or something like that, but that's really where they make their hay.
When you look at it, and then you know what teams are going to do against you, and we see it all the time. You see, as they mentioned, 8 in the box, sometimes even 10 in the box, and you got one guy back there 10 yards, hoping it's not a pass. But the biggest thing with you guys, you know pretty much what's coming at you. But the fact that you can really get the job done with all of that says something really good about your ball clubs.
Well, when we come out in double tight with the 3 backs in the backfield, including Mike, we got 11 in the box.
Yeah.
10 in the box doesn't bother me because we got 11.
That's true. That's true. You got a good point there. Never thought of it that way, but that's so true.
We got 11 in.
So we got one up on them. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Coach, it's been a good season, a great season so far again this year. And we're looking for an extension of it too, hopefully as well. And not only that, but we're looking for a really great game with Neshaminy and Pennsbury tonight. I think that's one thing that everybody pretty much can be assured of is they're going to get their money's worth and then some when these two teams collide.
Yeah, it should be a good game, and we just hopefully it comes out on the Falcon side.
All right, so we're going to be ready for the game to get underway in a couple of minutes. It's at Fairless Hills. Pennsbury will be the home team for this one tonight, but it's going to be a dandy. So a lot to win for as far as the victor of this ball game goes. And, of course, the one that loses, as we said, may be on the bubble and also may be out of it completely. So you have to wait and see if they can extend their season as well. But we've had a good run so far, looking for more, and we think this is going to be a dandy ball game to wrap up the regular season of play. It always is. So for the Galen Snyder Show, I'm Vince Reed.